everybody, this is Larry with Sim Products, and today we're going to talk a little bit about one of the most important aspects of preparing our cartridges, which is purging and equalizing the cartridge. A lot of people don't understand, every company out there that has a two-part cartridge has you purge and equalize the cartridge before you put the static mixer on. And the reason we do that is because when these cartridges are filled on the assembly line, they're filled upside down. And as it circles around and it goes in, a plunger goes in and fills it up with the part A side, and then it goes around to another side and it fills it up with the part B side. Well, because those are done at two different workstations, the back of the pistons will never be absolutely identical to each other. So it's always imperative that we make sure that we equalize those pistons. That's what we're talking about when we talk about equalizing. So it's really important that you do that. A lot of guys think, well, it's not that big of a deal. I'm just going to put the static mixer on and run a little longer bead before I start using it. And that's wrong, because what happens is if you start pushing more of one side than you do the other through a static mixer, you knock the tip, is a term we call off ratio. And once you knock a tip off ratio, it's not as simple as running a couple extra inches. It can take as much as a foot and a half bead to be able to get it back to where it's mixing properly again. So it's really important that you do this with every cartridge manufacturer that's out there. So when we talk about this, there's a couple of other things I want to make sure and show you. When you open up our cartridge, you take this black plastic cap off. Now, there's a top over here that you have to snap off. And the way that you do that, there's a little slot up here. You can take a screwdriver and stick it in and you can pry it off. Or one of the other things that you can do is you can actually take the cap that came off, put it on there until it stops, center the back of it, grab it on the front, and you can snap it off. Now, the whole purpose of having this piece on here is that when you're done, a lot of our products you can leave the old static mixer on it. One of the things, if you don't want to do that and you're kind of confined for space, is you can actually take this piece that we just snapped off. As you can look at the top of the cartridge, there's a circle and a square, and on the piece I snapped off, there's a circle and a square. If you'll match the two of those back up again, and sometimes it takes a little bit of wiggling to get it back in there, but you can actually push it right back into place and use it as a cap. Okay? So, let's get on to the purging and equalizing of the cartridge. So the first thing is we want to make sure that we put the cartridge into whether it's a manual applicator or a pneumatic applicator, and you just want to make sure, I don't want to see you waste a lot of product. I just want to make sure that we've got product coming out of both sides. And as long as we do, we know that those pistons are equalized perfectly in the back of the cartridge. Come in, wipe that off. Now, you can put your static mixer on. And you still want to come in and you want to lay a simple little test bead. All you need is just a couple of inches just to make sure that it looks like the product is mixing properly. It's a little harder to see on this one because we're using our white seam sealer, but if it was one of our other darker colors, you could see if it looks like it's marbly. If it's marbly, it's not mixing properly, and it may have had something to do with the equalization. So just make sure that you go back and you do that. Now you're ready to use this product. Hope this helps you out. Hope it solves a lot of issues that we see every once in a while, some of the tech calls that come in. It's very easy to eliminate that if you just make sure to equalize and purge the cartridge.